Hello, good morning. It is time for us to discover our intention for the week, and we're going to be doing that through mindful journaling. And if it's your first time here, thank you for being here. This form of mindful journaling is something that I learned about a couple decades ago. I was introduced to it. I thought it was very strange at the time, but then I embraced it, and it has been a big, big support and uh, big influence on my life. In fact, so much so that I wrote a whole book about it right here, Inner Affirmations. That was my first book. And then I had so many people asking for more journaling prompts on a regular basis that I wrote Inner Affirmation Inspirations, which gives you 365 inspirations and journaling prompts. So you can get both of those on Amazon. And if you want to get those two and my journal, my special journal, you can get those in a bundle on my website, and you get a special price for that. All right, so let's get going. We're going to, before we get started, we need to get grounded and we need to be in the moment right here. So let's take a few seconds or a minute or two to get grounded by some deep breathing. So close your eyes or gaze softly downwards. And, almost forgot. If you have a watch on, take your watch off. All right, take your watch off. Put your feet flat on the ground, legs not crossed. And the reason that we do that is that we want the energy to flow through us. We want to be able to be having that energy, that message, the universe, whatever you want to call it, flowing through us without anything to break that connection. And a watch can do that too. All right, let's close our eyes. Let's take a deep breath in and hold for just a few seconds. And release. And again. And release. And one last time. All right. I always feel better after I do a little breath work, which might be why I did a whole breath work course, which you can see there's a playlist for that on my YouTube channel. All right. So, mindful journaling. What is it? The way that I like to mindful journal, like I mentioned before, I've been doing for a couple decades. I was introduced to it, and stay with me here. Instead of journaling with my dominant hand, which this is my left hand, it's my dominant hand, I am going to journal with my right hand. Okay, so you say, why the heck would I do that? It'll be slow, it'll be challenging, I won't be able to read it. So I actually walk through some of the science in my first book about how this works. And essentially, you are being mindful because you're slowing down. But more importantly is that you are giving yourself the ability to hear and listen from your heart and your spirit instead of letting everything be pushed out through your left brain, your pragmatic brain, your ego. Your ego wants to be in charge, wants to be in charge all the time. So, by doing the journaling this way, you're, I don't want to say completely bypassing your ego, but you're giving your inner voice, your inner wisdom, a chance to speak up and be heard. What does that journaling look like? Well, here's mine from this morning, right here. You can see. And you can see it's hard to read. It looks a little wild. And that is kind of the point. Don't worry about not being able to read it. You will be able to read what you need to from your writing. You will get what you need from the writing. So I have books and I have journals upon journals upon journals. And in the past, before I started journaling this way, I would fill out pages and pages and pages of the same old crap. For real. The same old shoulda, coulda, wouldas would come up every single time I journaled. Because why? Because my ego and my left brain were driving the bus. And when I started journaling mindfully, short and sweet, I got right to the point. So don't waste time. Now, you're asking yourself, well, what are we going to write about? What does this have to do with finding my intention? Well, we are going to be journaling from a prompt that is going to come up. And Monday mornings, I get ready in the mornings. But before I get ready in the mornings on Monday, I sit down, I do some breath work, I probably do some EFT tapping, and I ask myself, what is it that we, you and me, need to consider when we are discovering our intention for the week? And I have a number of resources that support me in that effort. And I have books, I use my book, I have Oracle decks, and this morning, the book that came up for me was actually, I've had this book for a while on my Kindle app on my iPad, but when it comes to stuff like this, I really like having this visceral connection. So I got this book, Your Big Leap Year, and it's by Gay Hendricks, and this is a follow-up to The Big Leap. But you can see here that each page, it's like my book. It has a title, it has inspiration, and it has typically a prompt. And so, and I'll include the link for this in the description below, but I decided that I wanted to get this book in a hard copy so I could flip through the pages and pick whichever one comes up. And for me today, the one that came up was number 147, or day 147. So sit there for just a moment. I'm going to read you what it says, and then we'll go from there. There are several ways that we limit positive energy in relationships. Starting an argument, thereby avoiding intimacy. Withholding significant communication. Needing to control and dominate your partner, or to be controlled or dominated by your partner. One way to counter these in a relationship is to take time by and for yourself. If you do this consciously, you won't have to do it unconsciously by starting arguments and so on. There are many ways to recharge your batteries. You could go on a solo walk, putter in the garden, window shop around town, take in a movie, or soak in the tub. Whatever works for you, make it a priority within your relationship. It will allow you to spend more and more time enjoying intimacy or connection with your partner. So, as I'm reading this, it's making me think about past relationships and how I could have adjusted my behavior, or how I could have recognized behavior in my partner that I could have countered with different behavior of my own. But more importantly, I'm not in a relationship right now. And that's my choice. So if I take this further, the natural step is to take it further and to consider how it fits in my life as a whole. It's not just romantic relationships. It's all our relationships. Consider every relationship. Family, friends, coworkers, all of them. We all need time for ourselves. And we need to care for ourselves in order that we don't get to a place where we can't hear anymore, or we get angry. I'm an ambivert, so I need that. I need a balance between people and no people. And when I was married to my emotional and mentally abusive ex-narcissist husband, I didn't take time for me because I was constantly thinking about how can I care for other people? How can I care for my daughter? How can I care for my family and my friends? And I filled my days full. And I couldn't hear. It's about setting boundaries and taking care of ourselves and listening. So, your prompt that I want you to write about, and here I'm going to type it in the chat right now. What are your battery charging activities and how do they help you? What are your battery charging activities and how do they help you? So, as I mentioned before, we're going to be journaling with our non-dominant hand. So what I want you to do is first I want you to write the date. Like you can see how I've done it here. And yes, it looks crazy, and that's fine. Then I want you to write the prompt right here. And then just start writing. And you can see here, I've got words, I've got phrases. I don't have any sentences. My journaling tends to not go in that direction, tends to be words or phrases for me, but sentences are fine. Whatever comes up for you is fine. It doesn't matter if it's if it makes sense in relationship to the question, because as you're writing, the direction that you go may shift. So just write. Don't think about it too much. If a word comes in your mind, just write it down. Go on to the next. What's the next one that comes up? And you'll find that you're writing more than you realize. Yes, it might be slow, but you start to disconnect from here and start to listen here. I'm going to play some music while you are going to journal, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about what came up for you and how we are going to pull our intention from what we wrote. Here we go. All right. Okay. So, what came up for you while you were journaling? I can share a little bit about what came up for me in my journaling, which was so the question again, the prompt was, what are your battery charging activities and how do they help you? Doesn't matter if you're introverted or extroverted or ambivert like myself, doesn't matter because we all have activities that feed us, that recharge our energy, recharge our batteries, so to speak. So, what I ended up writing was, and again, right, you start off slow and then stuff starts coming up. I wrote reading, cycling, music, meditation, balance and calm, compassion, and listening. And that's what came up for me as I was doing my journaling. Now, yours is going to be different. Now, some people have said that what came up for them was that they needed to pause. And I see that in some of the comments where just taking a pause and being alone or going for a walk has helped them tremendously. I have a couple walking meditations here, and you can listen to those and go for a walk, and it's 10 or 15 minutes. And sometimes that's all you need to just be. Now, what I want you to do next is to look at what you wrote. Look at what you wrote and find the thing. The thing that you want to be mindful about. The thing you want to hang your hat on for the week. Because this is the thing that is going to help you for the week. It can be anything you want. Anything that you wrote down, go and look at that. Find that. Now, I looked at what I wrote, and what I took away, and this is what you're going to do too, is to take whatever that thing is, and I want you to write it on a small piece of paper, just like I've done here. And you can write it with your dominant hand so you can read it. But I want you to write it on a little scrap of paper. And you can see mine. It says, listening to self gives me balance. Yours is different because your writing is different. And if you would like to share what yours is in the comments, just go right ahead. Now, this is mine. Yours is different because your writing's different. But regardless, write it down, put it on a scrap of paper, and put it in your pocket. And you're going to carry it around with you for the week. And every once in a while, you're going to have a moment where, oh, right, I need to be mindful of my intention right now in this moment. I need to do this right at this moment, whatever's going on around you, because it's here for you. This intention, your intention for the week, is the way to keep yourself focused on what is important for you, to be mindful for what is important for you for the week. If you have any additional comments or questions, just put them there in the comments. I'd love to see them. In the meantime, I also want to say thank you for supporting me. And if you want to click down below, there is a link to where you can send me a donation so you can show me that you appreciate that I am providing this, because I like being here with you every week and I want you to have a wonderful week. And That's it. If you have questions, just send me a message and I will answer. Have a good one.